Welcome to the Corona Cero post-show here at the Mayo Rip Curl Pro Portugal. Day number 2 action. And we're going to break it down here in beautiful Peniche. Supertubos is the beach. And today exceeded expectations. The day started cloudy, rainy, and then it turned sunny, glassy. We got through elimination round for the men's, the women's, and the women's round of 16. I'm Kaipo Girl. Mitchell Salazar, Strata Wozlewski's here too. Mitchell, great day.
No, real fun day, and I think we got a lot more done than we were expecting to. Round of 16 for the women. Conditions turned on in the afternoon, Cowboy. Glassed off, the tide got real fun, and most importantly, we were able to run 8 heats, important heats too. Yeah, great performances today by some of the men and a lot of the women, Strider.
Yeah, I feel like the women were the highlight of the day, to be honest. The way that Molly Picklum surfed and Katie Simmers and just the kind of Tyler Wright, even though she wasn't feeling great, she looked great. And just to see those performances rise to a place to where, you know, we can expect more out of them, and we're getting more out of them, and we're having a great time watching it. So it's really entertaining.
Hey, Mitchell, let's start off and rewind to the beginning of the day with the men's elimination round and how we started things off with David Silva, Jake Marshall, and Kikas, local favorite.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Federico Moraes, been nursing that ankle injury. He broke not only his tibia, but his fibula too, as you were mentioning. And Jake Marshall, I mean, took advantage of these short period waves that we saw on offer here this morning. A lot of wind on the onshore when we first showed up. And Jake, Southern California boy, he knows how to surf this just as good as Deivid. Really loved the way he was able to surf with a ton of speed. Kaipo taking away the W in an important way too after a good result in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, David Silva, Deivid, looked like he was in a whole different speed in this heat, Strider.
Yeah, I feel like this is all kind of common ground. Like these guys came off the, you know, Challenger Series and QSs and had to rise from somewhere. And these conditions were kind of that feeling this morning. Federico, I think that he surfed really well for having a broken ankle. I mean, but you know, in the end, David Silva was looking the strongest.
Yeah, Marias, one of the crowd favorites here as the wild card. We're hoping that he heals up and gets ready for the Challenger Series starting in June. That's going to be next up for Federico Moraes. And you can see the numbers here, Mitchell. David Silva was on fire in this one.
And by today's standards, more than 12 points. That's a real solid heat. Jake Marshall, he got the job done, just under 10 points. And of course, Fred, as you said, we have 3 months until Newcastle. So I feel like it's more than enough time to be able to get at least close to 100%. Want to see him back on the CT, especially with the new schedule that we have.
Yeah, and we hope the best. You know, we've seen a lot of local heroes make it in different spots, but Federico Moraes is one that stands out to me as in his career as a whole.
No, and especially when it comes to European surfing too, he's always been that guy at the forefront since we saw the last generation come up. So props to him, still putting up the flag up there.
Yes, Strider, we got into the heat round of 16 for the women. And I'm looking at heat number 3 with Molly Picklum and Luana Silva. Luana Silva getting through that elimination round in the moment, but she had to meet up against Molly Picklum. This was a really close matchup.
Yeah, it was, but I feel like Molly just had something special going on in this heat. You know, you watch her style of surfing. That was her opener. I mean, just really ripping into it, looking really free. I don't think I've seen her surfing this well in a contest yet. I mean, just looking really spry and creative too. She was going into the corners, throwing tail, looked really solid.
Luana didn't make it easy for Molly Picklum.
No.
Her 5.2 right here to keep it nice and tight.
Well, she basically needed a replica of this wave to take the lead, Kaipo, and unfortunately for her, the back into the heat, waves never cooperated. But just want to point out, to me, Molly Picklum is really competing like somebody who should be fighting for a world championship this year. And as you see right there, a couple of tussles, thinking priorities to the switch, but overall, Picklum semifinal over at Pipe, runner-up finish in Abu Dhabi, and at least a quarterfinal here, Kipes.
Yeah, it was Pickles in the end, on to the quarterfinals, and there's the final number, Strider.
Yeah, she deserved it, though. I felt like she was definitely the outstanding surfer of the heat, and the way that she was attacking it, I can't wait to see more out of her because she's really stepping up the game and looking like she does want a world title.
When she's never won an event outside of Sunset Beach either. She's gotten close, but this could potentially be the location, Kaipo.
Yeah, I like it. I like the momentum that we're seeing from Molly Picklum, and I like how she's building her performances throughout the entire event. Another surfer that's going to make it to the quarterfinals. Last heat of the day was won by Gabriela Bryan. Let's hear from Gabby. She's with AJ.
Yeah, Gabby, coming in here, taking a deep breath after that last heat. What was going through your mind as you waded in the water for that final score?
I honestly, it was completely out of my control. I did everything I could, so it was like, either way it goes, I know I did my best out there. Yeah, I'm glad it went my way, but it was a little nerve-wracking. But it was one of those ones that was, like I said, completely out of my control, and that's how it goes sometimes, and this time it went my way.
Speaking of what you brought, you told me earlier, I'm going to lean into my power. You did it again today. Talk me through that wave.
Yeah, that 6, I just saw it had like a nice shoulder, but it also had like an end section that I saw down the line. So it was like, I was obviously super happy. There's not that many waves out there, so I saw, and I just saw the section, and I did a carve and a really good end. There was a really good end section that I just laid into because I knew if I didn't, I'd regret it. So glad it all worked out.
We were talking about just how critical this round is for having a keeper result. As you look towards building momentum this season, just how are you finding this consistency event to event?
I honestly don't know how. It's hard. It'd be hard to explain, but I mean, just taking it as cliche as it is, like each heat as it comes. Like I forgot about yesterday, focused on today, can't even focus on the next round or anything. So yeah, just taking each moment as it comes and doing my best. Like just trying to focus on me. Yeah.
The moment was yours today. Congratulations, Gab.
Thank you. And hello to everyone back at home. I know it's super late, so my brothers and dad and sister are probably up watching. I love you guys, and I miss you.
Yay. All right. Shout out to Kauai.
Yeah, lovely place, and close heat, that one. Came down to the very last wave. Personally, might have thought that Sakura got the score right there at the end, but just one of those, as she said, it was out of her control. She did her job, Kipes.
Yeah, third, ninth for Betty Lou Sakura Johnson. So tough start to the year for Sakura. By no means is it indicating the talent that Betty Lou has, but just sometimes that's the way it goes.
Yeah, and you get those matchups, middle of the rounds, and all of a sudden now you're really needing 4 events. 4 keeper events, by the way, too. So at least quarters, I would be thinking 2 semifinals or better, Kaipo, to be honest.
Yeah. 7 events before the cut, so still some time for all of our surfers who were eliminated today, Strider. But Gabby Bryan, I think power surfing never goes out of style.
It doesn't, and the way that she is engaging the board and the flow and those corners. I said it before, but I think half the men's tour can't compete with her on some of those turns that she does. Really, like if you just put them side by side, watching the replays, watching how she does it, her technique is impeccable. So I love it.
I like it too. Well, let's look into the future right now at our Surfline forecast. It's a tricky forecast. We're going to try to decode it for you right now, Mitchell. And we got swell coming.
We do, and we're supposed to be way smaller than what's today. Real decent conditions, especially in the afternoon. And as you see, an extra large swell does peak tomorrow in the afternoon. It does start to ease on Tuesday. I spoke to local boy Guy Fonseca right here from Peniche. He said tomorrow afternoon might be one of the best days he's seen in about 10 to 15 years, Kaipo.
Well, it looks like offshore, 12 to 18 feet, Strider.
Oh, that is pumping surf. I mean, it's amazing. You got to ride shortboard to a big board out here. You can ride a big step up in the way that the power is out here. We're going to see all the different faces, obviously, here. But I think, tomorrow we're going to have a big day of competition as well, it looks like.
That is the plan. We'll see what unfolds here at Supertubos, and if those winds cooperate, we know the swell's on the way.
Exactly.
Could get a lot of surfing done.
Yeah, that's the main thing right here. There's just too much activity in the Atlantic right now, Kaipo, and hopefully for us in the afternoon, if we do have that kind of swell period we're looking at, I think it's going to be one of the best days ever we've seen at CT level.
Okay, let's not jinx it.
Whoa, yeah. Let's
knock on wood, knock on wood.
Put it in reverse, man. Grind it out. Come on.
Hey, let's check out the activation that happened earlier in this event. We're talking about the rising tides and encouraging all of our girl surfers to enjoy the ocean.
Supertubos
And a lot
is
of
like one
bonding
of the
went down.
strongest, most powerful waves I think I've ever surfed.
Really?
Even though it's sand, it's like just the way I think maybe it's really deep to really shallow, and it just like lurches. The next few days are going to be a bit smaller.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll try and connect, go for a surf together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the beach called Baleal in Peniche. Supers is quite big today, it's really pumping. But here with a group of youngsters. I used to be a youngster and now I'm actually part of the contest, so it's really special for me to be back and give back to the people that I used to be.
I took up surfing 14 years ago, and we were only 3 girls surfing in Portugal, so we had no one to look up to.
Rising Tides to me is to inspire the younger generation of girls wherever we travel.
The girls here are so passionate about surfing, and everyone who organises these events, they're so passionate about women surfing. And every year there's more and more girls.
I've noticed even free surfing, there's like 10 times more girls in the water nowadays.
I love surfing. It's really good for me. It's my spirit.
Thank you to WSL for such an important program. It's really important because they have the chance to be with role models, to see that we can be professionals.
There you go, the Rising Tides, and now it's time for the top 5 moments of today, day number 2 at the Male Rip Curl Pro Portugal. Let's take a look at number 5 coming up. We've got a lot of moments. We had to just pick 5. It's a Portuguese party. Yolanda Hopkins. Mitchell won the women's elimination round, heat number 1. That one was for the locals.
And Yo-Yo, as you mentioned, she was the first person to get here to site this morning, literally in the dark, paddled out in the dark, and was able to get a free surf before her heat. Seems like it worked out in her favor, Kaipo. She's our top 5 moment of day 2.
Yeah, great surfing by Yolanda Hopkins. Bella Kenworthy. What happened here? This is actually number 4, Bella Kenworthy, and her air reverse. Yolanda Hopkins started the day with a win, and here we go to Bella Kenworthy strider number 4.
Yeah, Bella showing some progression and having a good time, and she's been solid, you know, throughout the event. And here she is early in the morning having to get out of that dreaded round, but she did well. I mean, she's coming off of an injury, so coming back into some form and having the progression to throw it up above the lip into a reverse and stick it coming around, making it look easy too. Solid surfing right there. Go Bella.
Yeah, we'll see Bella Kenworthy on to the quarterfinals. Number 3, high drama, high stakes in this elimination round. Marco Mignot, Joao Chianca, and Seth Moniz. This was a tight one.
Yeah, and they knock out Chumbinho, the former champion, in this one. Kaipo Mignot, low-scoring affair, took away the W, and literally in the dying seconds, Seth Moniz was able to get to his feet, get the score that he required. Although Chianca was in the 2nd place for the majority of the heat, surfed well given the conditions. This is the wave, though. Did just enough to be able to get the score, Kaipo. Bang, bang turns on this one on the backhand, especially considering how much spray he threw. Well-deserved moving into the round of 32 as Moniz.
Yeah, nail biter for Seth Moniz. There's a coach, Doug Silva, enjoying the moment. Seth Moniz into the round of 32. Doug keeping the secret.
Fashionista.
We love Doug. We love Seth. Congratulations.
And emotional moment for some fans with Joao Chianca. Number 2, Ramzi Bukhayam, Sammy Pupo, George Patar. Another nail-biting finish in this heat, Strider.
Yeah, you know what? Sammy he had so much flair and energy and flow in this heat. I was surprised the scores were as close as they were, but I mean, you know, he definitely looked like he dominated the heat to me. So Sammy was on fire, but George came around the corner. This turn right here was just ridiculous. Look at that, just whipping it above the lip, really momentum shift, and then all of a sudden, this guy comes around the corner and lays down a hammer, and it was really a close score.
Yeah, 6.4 for the advancement for the rockin' Moroccan Ramzi Bukhayam. He's on to the round of 32 in a tight one. And number 1, she wears yellow for a reason, Mitchell. Katie Simmers again. just killing it.
Yeah, no doubt the best female surfer on the planet. Had a 5 and then the 6 straight air. We've seen a lot of skate-inspired maneuvers throughout the event so far, especially on the women's side. Nice layback right there from the Surfer for Motion side. And of course, comfort level in the yellow jersey, Kaipo. Speaking of the straight air right there, she looks as good as ever right now, leading the rankings heading into El Salvador, which is another great event for her. Looking for her second W in 3 years here in Portugal.
Yeah, on point. Looking calm, cool, collected, and well-paced, Katie Simmers. Well, there we go, guys. That's all the highlights for today.
I'm not speaking anymore because I don't want to jinx it for tomorrow.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Short,
Thank
short
you.
but sweet.
Thank you, Mitchell. Thank you, Strider. And remember, check in tomorrow morning, 6:45 local time at worldsurfleague.com. We could get going as early as 7 a.m. local time. With that, we'll leave you with the end of the day highlights and aloha.
This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League.